Hey, good morning and welcome to our first Monday Motivation of 2023. My name is Tony Ruiz. I am the host and founder of the Productive Agent podcast and Facebook group. As a reminder for all of you new listeners, our purpose here at the Productive Agent is to motivate, inspire, encourage, and educate those working in the real estate industry or those considering getting into the real estate industry. Over the past few weeks, I've been thinking about adding on an episode of Monday Motivation, and these are supposed to be quick, less than 10 minutes, and a good message to start your week. So that's the whole point of this. Today's episode is entitled Monday Motivation, A Parent Talks to a Child Before the First Game. A little backstory before we get into the story. I was a band director for 11 years prior to getting into real estate. And before our first competition of every season, I would sit the band down as we prepared to go into competition, and I would read this story to them. It was very impactful. It really got us focused in on what we needed to do that day. And the students really enjoyed it. The parents really enjoyed it. So much so that some of my past students are now band directors, and they share the same story with their students. So it's really cool to see that tradition carry on through that. The story comes from this book entitled Wooden, A Lifetime of Observations and Reflections on and Off the Court by Coach John Wooden with Steve Jamison. John Wooden was a UCLA basketball coach back in the day and one of the most successful coaches of all time. I'm not going to get into all of his backstory, but you should definitely go look into it. I believe they have several books on his coaching and his life skills that he's passed on to so many generations of players. So let's get into the story, all right, and talk about it. So this is A Parent Talks to a Child Before the First Game. This is your first game, my child. I hope you win. I hope you win for your sake, not mine. Because winning's nice. It's a good feeling. Like the whole world is yours. But it passes this feeling. And what lasts is what you've learned. And what you learn about is life. That's what sports is all about, life. The whole thing is played out in an afternoon. The happiness of life, the miseries, the joys, the heartbreaks. There's no telling what'll turn up. There's no telling whether they'll toss you out in the first 5 minutes or whether you'll stay for the long haul. There's no telling how you'll do. You might be a hero or you might be absolutely nothing. There's just no telling. Too much depends on chance, on how the ball bounces. I'm not talking about the game, my child. I'm talking about life. But it's life that the game is all about, just as I said. Because every game is life, and life is a game. A serious game, dead serious. But that's what you do with serious things. You do your best. You take what comes and you run with it. Winning is fun, sure, but winning is not the point. Wanting to win is the point. Not giving up is the point. Never being satisfied with what you've done is the point. Never letting up is the point. Never letting anyone down is the point. Play to win, sure, but lose like a champion because it's not winning that counts. What counts is trying. And it's just a really cool story that kind of touches the heartstrings. And the whole message that I highlighted and I want you to make sure you take away with is what lasts is what you've learned. So I highlighted a couple spots in here. What have you learned from your successes? And what have you learned from your failures? You are going to make mistakes in this business. You're going to make mistakes in life. Do you learn from them and improve upon them? Another one is do your best. All right. Are you doing your best? Are you putting your best effort forth? If you're not, why not? And imagine what would happen to your life and your business if you did your best. And of course, the most powerful one, and I'm going to reread it real quick, is this: wanting to win is the point. Not giving up is the point. Never being satisfied with what you've done is the point. Never letting up is the point. Never letting anyone down is the point. And finally, what counts is trying. So my question to you is, are you trying to do your best? Are you putting in the effort? I know that there's been days, even for me in the past week, that wasn't my best effort, but I've also put in some days that were incredible, and I've learned from all of them, and I'm better off for it. So that's our message for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. There's so much more in the book, so I encourage you to go check out the book. But if you like the show, if you like this message, share it with a friend. Even if they're not in real estate, I post a lot of this same kind of content to my personal page, and a lot of my friends and family will see it, and they will say stuff like, man, I really liked that message. You have no idea that I needed to hear that right now. So you have no idea what kind of impact you have on people's lives. So share the show, share the message. Please drop us a review, give us a rating for the show. That really helps us grow and impact more lives. We invite you to join our private Facebook group called The Productive Agent. You could also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All of the links are in the show notes. So share the show with a friend. And I thank you for joining us today. Now let's get out there and go produce.